What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. The Geeky guy here, and today we'll be looking at a Katsu post outsider deck list. And this is going to be one of my first videos since some time now. So it's been a while since I made a video. I've been grinding on Talisha looking for the right Katsu build, and I've been going through a few iterations, and we're gonna go through the final deck list that I come upon. So this is actually quite similar to TCG's talks deck list with a few variation here and there, but the essence is being able to depend on the number of combo cards that you have in your deck. You want to go for those huge explosive turns even without a proper starter. So there's a few cards that actually help us to do this in Outsider. We're going to take a look at those. Let's start out by looking at the heroes and equipments. So basically the equipment is going to be like so. So you're gonna have Hardened Cross Trap for a more aggro matchup, but usually you want to go for Tunic. And we have Scales, Breeze Rider Boots, Master Momentum, Now-Rune Gloves, and Tide Flippers. So Tide Flippers and Now-Rune Gloves for those arcane matchups such as Kano or Islander, and for Icelander, or we could go for Breeze Rider Boots for those usual matchups. So Breeze Rider Boots also allows us to block for 1. It being Battle Worn means it's super useful. Another piece of armor for Katsu to block with. Now let's take a look at the main list here. 60 cards, 3 AEs, 3 Be Like Water, Bonds of Ancestry, Descendant Gustwave. So these are some of our starters plus the eventual crazy combo line. So we have 3 copies of Be Like Water. Be Like Water is going to help us into supplementing the starters we have, such as Twin Twisters and Surging Strikes. So in this deck we're going to play 5 Surging Strikes, 3 reds, 2 yellows. I found that being able to actually draw into the correct amount, this would be the right amount of Surgings. If you were to add another yellow, it's going to be a bit too much. And then we have Descendant Gustwave. You can use this as a starter, or you can use this as a as an attack after Surging. It's going to get that sweet bonus. Usually people go for Cross Trap Surging into Descendant and then Bonds. The whole line is going to cost you 0 because of Cross Trap. So that's the idea. And then we have Double Strike. So in the original list by TCG Talk, it's Head Jab, but I found Head Jab to be I mean, it's decent, but I feel like what makes Katsu dangerous is the Katsu trigger, the ability to look for combo cards. So Double Strike is going to help with that, being able to pull that off by threatening twice. So if it ever hits, you can just Katsu trigger and go ahead with the shenanigans. And then 3 copies of Flick Flag, Fluster Fist, just because it's such a cost-efficient attack, 0 for 4. 100 wins, 3 Razor Reflex. You can remove this one for matchup that relies on Frostbite, such as Lexi. And then Spinning Wheel Kick, Surging Strike, Twin Twisters, Wildman Gustwave. So for Twin Twisters, it really depends on what you want to go for. Sometimes you want to go for the extra +1. If you know your opponent is most likely not going to block it, it's okay to actually go for the 3, and if it hits, the next attack get +1. So imagine this coming for 3, and then if you manage to get it to hit Spinning Wheel Kick, it's going to come for 6. So it's a pretty dangerous combo. So but the broad issue with this line is it being a 1 cost, Twist Twister being 1 cost, Spinning Wheel being 1 cost, Cyclone Roundhouse being 2. So there's only 1 copy of Cyclone Roundhouse. This is actually pretty good against classes that reuses the equipment to block more than often, such as Olheim. So if this somehow hits and their equipment gets banished, so that would be a pretty good turn. But besides that, it's not a great card to have. So 1 copy of that. 1 copy of Mugenshi. Mugenshi used to be the main line in the Surging, but now with Descending Bonds of Ancestry and Dishonor, Mugenshi, you can cut it down to 1. The only reason we play this is to get all of our attacks back with Lord of Wind. So Concealed Blade would be our attack reaction. So I used to run 1 copy of Lunging Press, and this would be a better version of that, being able to block for 3. 3 copies of Dishonor. So what happens is, as early as you can, get Dishonor into the discard via a Katsu trigger or via blocking opponent's attack, doesn't matter. And then we have Knives Out. So some might play Stab the Wound, but I prefer Knives Out just because I prefer playing Kodachi. So those Kodachi is going to come for 4. And then they'll not be able to block with a 1 block equipment. So really depend on how you want to see that. I usually want to pitch away Knives Out, so it's going to be more lethal in the end game. And then we have Lord of Wind, 3 copies of those. and then Winds of Eternity just to complement 100 Wings. And as of our sideboard, we have 3 copies of Command and Conquer. So this is against draw my matchups, against matchups that rely heavily on Arsenal, such as Riptide and also Lexi. 3 copies of Oasis, 3 copies of Sing Below, 2 copies of Art of War. So if you're feeling like it and you're running Tunic, Art of War would be great, just for the more explosive turn. Some may argue that this is not really necessary, but I just happen to like Art of War. Now, if we scroll back up, I just want to show you guys the stats of the deck. So there is no gameplay for this video, but I'm gonna upload one in the I guess maybe tomorrow or so. I'm gonna upload some Kalisha gameplay just to see, just so you guys can see the deck in action. So let's go in the stats. So you can see there's a total of 45 attack action, which is more than enough. 2 arcane barriers for those Kano and Icelander matchups, and then we have Oasis to complement that. 17 blues, 4 yellows, which includes the Art of Wars, 39 raids. So that's pretty much it. And then we take a look at our recent results. So I've been playing this Katsu for 55 matches. So of course, this is a mix of different cards that I keep taking out and putting in. I started with Snapdragon, and then I tried Snatch, I tried E-Strikes, but ended up being putting in Breeze Rider Boots and having all combo cards would be, I guess, the best bet for now, until we see how the meta changes. So 65% win rate doesn't really count, but I guess it's okay. And then you might notice that the win rate going second is higher, so going second might be a better choice. So most of the matches that I go second, I actually managed to pull off the combo. And going first, usually I lose to those aggressive decks. So really depends on the dice roll on that, but this deck is pretty consistent to not have to worry about that. So we can see right here, Azalea seems to be the worst matchup for this hero. For Katsu, I have 4 losses so far. Seem to have been struggling with her due to the number of different tokens that she actually gives us. A lot of dominate attacks. So the best bet is to actually run all the Sing Belows and Command and Conquer in order to actually mitigate that. Other than that, Katsu can actually handle other heroes pretty well. So some of these losses you can actually ignore, because the stats are a little bit messed up, because I ended up actually combining the Snatch variant, the generic variant of Katsu, with the combo variant. So the win rate for this deck is actually much higher. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's the deck. So I'm gonna link the deck list down in the description so you guys can check it out. So there's a few variation of this deck running around, but it pretty much boils down to being able to pull off the huge combos. Less like Katsu, or like just basically what Katsu likes to do. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Do like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.